Alrighty-o. We are back at the Vgtr Challenge Season 5. As you can see, we are now streaming to less people. But that means that there are more people actually racing. As we can see, there are 16 people out on the track. Which is way more than we had in the AM race, as some of you have seen already. Welcome back, everybody that has stuck around for both races. I don't think there's everybody here, since a lot of them are currently racing. For some reason, our man, Mr. Matt Ascard, having some problems. So we have 16 people out on track currently. Zed Doran, the quickest out of everybody. And will I need to restart my ACC? I really don't think so. It is dry, as we can all see. More competitors. Yeah, absolutely. Finally, more people that can spice up the race for us. We have 16 people. Subham Chowdhury, one of the people to be promoted into the pro split. We also have Lab Form Championship. We saw him in the AM split. He has been moved since. And we can just have a look at the personal bests. It is 145.4 and a 145.7 currently taking the top 2 positions. My CPU is going completely crazy. Probably because I have Google Chrome open. And Google Chrome refuses to close, so that is always great to see. Right, we have 16 drivers out on track. Hopefully I'm saying that enough times so you guys understand how great that is, since just less than an hour ago we started with 5 people. So this is already a massive improvement. So mad I missed the race this morning. Well, it's not really your fault anyway. You wouldn't have missed much. It was just 3 people having some leisurely fun. Leisurely Saturday morning racing. Yeah, there wasn't much going on. Yeah, absolutely. So not a lot missed. Lap Form Championship taking the fastest lap on the track, a 145.4, and then Alexei Kulabakov getting that, 145.1, but then Zach Doran getting another fastest lap of a 145.0. It was 6 AM for me too. Yeah, it's not too much thought taken by me there. I didn't know it started that early for me. Forgot we changed the time, yeah. Unfortunate that we had so little people in there, but now we can at least celebrate quite a lot of participants. You know, after having so few, having a lot more is always a treat. As we have been spectating matters for a long time now, we can probably have a look at some other people. We have Zaur Naniev. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Zaur Naniev, yeah. Currently P15 in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, which is one of the popular choices on the grid. My quality time would have put me in 11th right now in the Pro Split, while maybe your pro split win was not so bad. Race pace practice done. Currently sitting in P9 out of 16. And we only hope that it rains for the race. At least that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. As the Aston Martin goes completely off and onto that curb. And we have Subham Chowdhury taking P1. Hold on. I wasn't even looking. Subham Chowdhury taking P1 in the practice session so far by over 0.4 of a second. Subham Chowdhury really proving what he can do when he has the correct car. He has moved from the Ferrari to the Beamer and now absolutely thrashing the competition. It looks like over 0.4 quicker than P2 right now. Absolutely wonderful job by him. Even Blinov is not able to take that away from him on 44.8 for him. Patrick Slowick still in the pit, and Zaur Nanyev not able to set a valid lap time so far. He will be coming across the line to set his first flying lap time though. It is not qualifying though right now, so don't get your hopes up so much. But Subham Chowdhury setting such a dominating lap time will definitely be awesome to see as Zaur Nanyev puts his car into P12. As we just wait for camera definitions to spice up and we can have some more people being looked on. But super quick by the Indian driver in the number 17 BMW M4 to propel his car into P1 in this practice session. Obviously, as I said before, P1 in a practice session doesn't really mean that you might be P1 in the qualifying or the race, as we saw in the Formula 1 race, in the Formula 1 practice with Nicholas Latifi, who took P1 in the practice session. Did not win the race, unfortunately. But it would be an absolute... yeah, it would be absolutely horrible for me to be saying that Subham is slow as Latifi, because, yeah, that is a mega insult nowadays. So I'm just going to move my screen a bit closer to me so I can see this. Put my T away. And we can have a good look at how people are doing. Nobody else on track currently going purple, but as I say that, Vasily Blinov was going purple in some sectors, not doing that currently, so whatever happened on his lap made him a bit slower. Gotta also be careful for the YouTube stream. I don't want to be missing out on... Oh, just put YouTube on the YouTube stream. Yeah, Vasily Blinov going 2/10 quicker currently this lap, which might put him into P1 as it stands. Latifi lapped the Hungaroring in the wets in 141.8. Subham is 144.6 in the dry. So, yeah, Sabam Chowdhury, the quicker driver out of these two, as Vasily Blinov takes that time away from him and does a 1:44.5, which is only 1.5 tenths quicker than Sabam Chowdhury. Sabam driving a much slower car than Latifi, though. Yeah. Sabam Chowdhury, if he was given a Formula 1 car, he would definitely be going quicker than Latifi, I would hope, and I would think. As practice comes to an end, we have Lap Form Championship just finishing his lap. Matas in 6th in his Porsche debut. Adi Asathia in 9th. We haven't seen much of him last season, but happy to have him back. And a lot of new faces out on track today, like Vasily Blinov, Zach Doran, Alexei Kulapkov, Raul Santana Rios, Nick Stick, Zaur Naniev, and Vladimir Krov. A lot of new faces indeed. As we just see the final two people finish their lap. And then we'll be going straight to qualifying. And we'll see if Sabam Chowdhury is going to be able to snatch away pole position from Vasily Blinov, or at least be put into the first row for the first time in his BMW debut as well. There's a lot of people changing their cars. All of the ORC team changing their cars. Jay Lloyd switching to Mercedes, I believe. I don't remember which car exactly it is, but here we go. Yes, Josh Buckwater switching to the AMR. Felix Paland to the Porsche, and then Andre Lloyd to the McLaren. But as we see here, people going out onto the track already, and Sabam Chowdhury will actually be following him first, if I can find him on this list. There he is, Sabam Chowdhury. We're actually gonna have a look at his first lap, because he does seem to be the wild card player out here, but there's also two people in front of him that might be doing a first lap before him, which one of them is actually Matas Sidikerskis and Peter Kremers. So actually we're going to be following these two, and Matas Sidikerskis in particular, because we do want to see how much he can spin. Let's put that correctly. How much he can spin on this qualifying session. The Porsche Porpoise, yeah, it's a crazy car. That is. If you can handle it, you're one of the quickest drivers on track. If you can't, you are out of the race, is all I can say. But as I'm gonna mispronounce Matus's name. I'm gonna call him Mr. Side Kurskis. Side Kurskis. I think that seems like a pretty much fitting name. As he just starts his first flying lap, and he puts on his lights as well. Interesting that he puts on his light. And he straight away goes off the track, and is that an invalid lap time? It's not. Somehow that did not invalidate his lap time, so whatever's going on there, he is being fishy. Pray for rain. Does the rain dance? Well, let's have a look at what the rain chances is to be. So it is a green track, which gives me hope, okay? It gives me very big hope that it might be raining. And it's also cloudy, which also gives me hope. And it is starting to get windier. So, with that in mind, the race start might indeed be a rainy wet start. Which is what we're all here for, right? We all want to see a nice rainy start. As Peter Kremers is going to come across the line to set his first lap time, as Matas decides to invalidate his one. Let's have a look at what Peter Kremers is going to be able to do, or Kremers, as some would try to correct me. I'm yet to hear him correct me himself. As Peter just comes towards the line, and what is it going to be? This is going to be the benchmark lap time for a green track. It is going to be a 1:46.5. Next person to come across the line will be Subham Chaudhary. We won't count Matas since it is invalid. Subham Chaudhary sets the fastest lap time of a 1:45.9. Next person to cross the line is going to be the 1:10. And they're all going to be setting slower lap times than Subham, except Vasily Blinov, who's going to be setting a 1:45.8. Only about a tenth quicker than Subham Chaudhary. Nick Stick, 1:46.2. Alexei Kulobkov, sadly, it is an invalid lap time for him. Patrick Slowick going to be coming across the line as well. First time I've taken part in a quali with a green track. Yeah, it is very interesting that such a track is green. But Subham Chaudhary currently on the front row of the grid. Peter Kremers 4th, Zaur Nanya 5th. Patrick Slowick going to come across the line, and he's going to set a 1:46.5. Josh Buck also 1:47.4. And the rest are still to do their valid lap times. Caught me completely off guard. Didn't realize my braking point into turn 1 was the skid marks. Yeah, well, that's what you have to do. You have to adapt to the ever-changing track. Adi Asathio does a 1:46.7. And the quickest lap time now by lap form championship by Shadran, a 1:45.7. If you remember correctly, he was at one point in the AM championship. Now he is in the pro and doing very well for himself. That means that Subham Chaudhary's lap time is currently enough to put him on the second row alongside his so-called teammate, Peter Kremers. And Vasily Blinov now sets another fastest lap time, 1:45.4. That is over 3/10 quicker than Shadrin's lap time. Raul Santana Rios also sets a lap time of a 1:48.1, which sets him into 10th right now. 6 people yet to do a valid lap time. Matas bringing out the yellow flags as he just lets Adi Asathia go. Vasily Blinov again setting purple sectors. He's just going about a 10th quicker this lap. As Adi Asathia is going to come across the line and get a 1:46.0, which is just ahead of Peter Kremers, which puts him into 4th. Vladimir Croft now into 11th with a 1:47.5. Andre Lloyd also doing a 1:47, but that is a 1:47.2, puts him into 11th. And alongside Felix Paland. Peter Kremers now into 2nd place, 1:45.5. And that puts him on the front row. Peter absolutely thrashing his personal best out here, I think. Let me have a look as Vasily Blinov sets another fastest lap time of this qualifying session, 1:45.2. As he just goes even for an overtake. A nice cheeky little overtake on Raul Santana Rios. And Raul Santana Rios not really having any of it. He's trying to get back at him. As Nick Stick just goes off as well. And Vasily Blinov thinks that that is enough for him to be first. But Shadrin out here, he's going 5/10ths quicker this lap. He might be the first person to set a 1:44, as the autopilot does not want us to see this at all. He is going 7/10ths quicker this lap, and it's invalid. He invalidates the lap time, so it is going to be, yeah, not going to be a lap time for him. More fighting in Pro Quali than the entire AM race. Yeah, well, that at least gives us some hope that the Pro race will be more fun to watch than the AM race. Also gives us more hope that when we mix the two parties together, that we'll have an absolute epic bunch of battles between lapped cars and quicker cars. And how much resistance will the slower people have? The track's still green, but it is turning a bit sunnier, so that gives me less hope that we're going to have rain for the race. Obviously not going to be giving up on that dream at all. Peter Creamer's fastest lap time actually is a 1:44.8, so he still has it in him to improve. 1:45.4 right now. It is obviously a green track, so we can't really expect much. Raul Santana Rios currently in 15th, or last out of everybody that has done a lap time. Peter going off the track. Adias Sathya, the only person to be in the pits. As I say that, it is Vladimir Krov who goes into the pits as well. Thinking that they have enough space between, enough gap for the people behind them to stay in their position. Adias Sathya, he is only a 10th quicker than Subham Chowdhury currently. And Vladimir Krov is in 14th, so he might think that he doesn't want to improve on that. As we see, Vasily Blinov was going purple sectors, but currently not improving on his lap. Peter yellow flags yet again, as I think he just lets a couple people through, to be fair, behind him. Subham Chowdhury tumbling down the order into 7th now. In the pits, so hopefully making some last minute adjustments in order to get himself up into the higher positions. His fastest lap time is a 1:44.7 on this track, currently in the 1:45.9s, so not doing as much as he can. He definitely has a lot more that he can extract from that car. Matas in 12th place, and Vasily Blinov yet again going purple as he starts his fresh lap. Patrick Slowick also going 3/10ths quicker this lap. That might put him into possibly 3rd or 4th place. Nick Stick also going 6/10ths quicker. That will propel him into the top 5 as Subham Chowdhury just exits the pit. for what is going to be his final laps out in the race. In the qualifying, my bad. In the qualifying. As Patrick Slowick just comes across the line and he puts himself 5th on the grid, 1:45.7, and he stops straight away. No more, he says, no more laps he needs to do. He can do a 1:44.4. A lot of these people are able and have more in them than they think, but have a look at that prediction. 30 minutes from now is rain. Do you know what else is 30 minutes from now? The race. If that prediction is correct, we might have a rainy start and possibly even more rain towards the end of the race. Now, you see, it is really sunny, but that might just be a little bit of a lie. It might be a way to soothe the drivers before the eye of the storm hits them hard and completely throws their car into the wall. So this might be the last time we'll see lap times in the 1:45s, as Nick Stick just goes a bit off the track and invalidates his lap time, and nobody else improving yet. So we will just wait and see if the prediction is indeed correct, because that is what we want to see. We want to see drivers getting pushed to the limits in this race, or in the season overall. We want to see people fighting in different conditions, in the autumn cold conditions. I'm not sure if 21 degrees is that much cold. So maybe it is cold in Hungary when it's 21 degrees. I personally have no friends in Hungary that can tell me if it is wet or not, or if it's cold or not when it's 20 degrees. Personally living in Britain, it is not that cold when it's 20 degrees. As lap form Shadrin starts his fast lap, and it was nearly purple, but unfortunately now losing a bit of time, and it is the last 5 minutes of the qualifying session. So hopefully the people that wanted to improve do improve now, because it is the time is running out, is what I wanted to say. The time is completely running out. Zach Doran is one of them. He is 2/10 quicker already on this lap, so we'll wait and see what he can do. Sebum Chowdhury now a 10th quicker already, so he's probably going to put himself into P7 or more. Yes, he does. He puts himself into P5 with that lap time. A lot of people in the 1:45.7s, Zach Doran being one of them. So if he wants to keep this lap, or if he wants to keep this place, then he needs to improve on this lap, but currently 2/10 slower. Sebum Chowdhury not improving on his lap, but he does have more in him. He probably... there he is, actually. We're spectating him right now in the Whatever Works car. That is the same one that the person behind him is running, Peter Kremers, who is in P3 on the second row. So it'll be a lot of fun if these two get to start next to each other, because maybe we'll see some possible team orders. Obviously, these two drivers have a lot of history. Sebum Chowdhury, he joined our league in season 2, and he was an AM driver, getting in a lot of people's ways, as some would say, and he was, as some would say, a nuisance, but with a lot of, challenging practice and a lot of help from our admins, like Peter Kremers, he is now able to be P5 and in the pro split at that. So I think we all owe an apology to Sebum Chowdhury for doubting his autosport abilities, and all need to congratulate such person for being so quick as he is going to cross the line now. And will he improve enough to start next to his buddy? Yes, he does. That is a 1:45.5. Aliens faster than 46. Green track is such a mind frick, as we would like to say on the stream. I didn't. I always backed him. Well, there's a couple people who didn't. Me included, I think. Obviously racing against such people, it was very interesting. Zach Doran, he is going a 10th quicker. Now, will this be enough to put him ahead of Subham? Because Subham is currently thinking that that is over. That's it. His qualifying is about as done as, I don't know, what is done? As the Formula 1 Championship. But Zach Doran, he is hoping to improve on his lap. Vasily Blinov going about 2/10 quicker, but losing all that time as he comes through the second sector. Oh my god, my voice going completely off. Hamilton's career is over. Wow. Right, Zach Doran coming across the line now. Will it be enough to put him into P4? Subham is going to be hoping that it doesn't. Zach Doran will be hoping that it does. Zach Doran just a bit off. He needs to gain another 10th in that lap in order to be ahead. It is very close between his drivers. Most in the 1:45.7 or 6 area. The people like Matas complaining about that in the chat. Zach Doran, is he improving on his lap time? Unfortunately for Subham Chowdhury, he is, and he's going just over 2/10 quicker. So maybe it might be that Zach Doran might just spoil the second row start for Subham, and he might even spoil some people's front row start as he's going just 5/10 quicker. Didn't we get a new commentator's replacement for the old one? That is me. Zach Doran, he's going 5/10 quicker. As I just got completely gobsmacked by that comment. 6/10 quicker he's going now. He might even take pole position in this absolute close qualifying. Yes, he does. He takes pole position by over 2/10. Wow, Zach Doran absolutely thrashing everybody's lap time. Crazy at that. Zach Doran spoiling the front row start for Shadrin, and that is also spoiled Subham Chowdhury's start next to his friend. Now that is what we want to see from drivers. Just over 2 seconds between first and last. Those are the sort of lap times we want to see. Hello. How to join this league? Well, to join this league, you would have to go onto our SimGrid page. I think it is literally just like SimGrid. This SimGrid. Hold on. I don't even know our own URL. Oh no. I don't know my own league's URL. No, it's the SimGrid /hosts/119. Apparently we're the 119th host, and we're currently 8th out of 100 plus hosts. So thank you so much for all the support. I'm in the top 10 somehow, and there's more than 10 people. Something's wrong. I can feel it. History is going to repeat itself, and you won't stay there. I won't stay in the top 10. No way. Gibson just saying that he can be in the YouTube chat too. And indeed he can. To improve our viewership. As we just get ready for the first race of the Pro Split. Or as we would just say, the VGTR Season 5. The 5th season of VGTR. GT3. We don't know if there might be more subdivisions. Started next to 999 ping. Yes, he started next to Adia Sathya, who for some reason has a lot of ping today. Not sure what is going on. Somebody saying that the gaps are sick. The pack is so close together, and this is exactly what you want to see from GT3 racing. You want to see the pack being as close together as they possibly can. Most of the people in the 145s, a lot of the people in the 146s in the final two, and the 147s, but even then, I don't think it'll be enough for them to be blue flagged straight away, as some were in the AM League, as we finally get our first, our first grid walk of the season. Starting first is Zach Doran, as for some reason it just puts me onto this exact camera. Can I please go off of that? Zach Doran, he starts first in the number 11 Audi Evo, R8 Evo LMS2, or whatever it is called. And then next to him, number 777, Vasily Blinov. Blinov is actually a sort of food in Russia. It's kind of like pancakes. Number 444, it is Shadrin in the BMW as well. As you can see, there is a bit of a pattern here, as we see Peter Kremers in P4 in the number 197 BMW M4, and then it is Subham Chaudhary in the number 17 BMW M4 starting 5th. Then it is Patrick Slowick in 6th in the McLaren 720S. Then next to them is number 38, don't know your names yet, and number 38 Nick Stick in the McLaren 720S. Then next to them, number 118, Alexei Kulapkov in the BMW M4. Then it is Adia Sathya starting in 9th. And then it is Madas Idikeskis, one of the only people in the Porsche, starting 10th. And then it is Josh Buckwater, the number 32 Aston Martin V8 Vantage, starting 11th. Then it is another Aston Martin, starting 12th. It is Nanyev in the number 119. Then it is another Porsche, the final Porsche of the grid. It is Felix Paland starting 13th on the grid. Then it is Andre Lloyd, I think. I'm not checking. Yeah, it is Andre Lloyd, number 937, starting 14th. Then it is Santana Rios in 15th. And then it is Krauf starting 16th in the number 37 BMW. More people. Finally. Then the AM race. The cars aren't even in the grid boxes. Completely immersion break-in, as Abe comes into the chat and he says, I'm too late. But he's not too late yet, since it is still a couple of minutes to go until the race start. So he can still start from the pits if you wish to do so. 1 minute to go, alright. I'm also not home yet. Skill issue. What can I say? What do you guys think? Who gets the best livery award this season? It is a hard question. There's a lot of good liveries out here. I would say one of my favorite liveries is obviously by ORC. They have the best liveries on the grid. Made by Andre Lloyd, but I also think the best livery that I have, for some reason I don't have Josh's livery, but Andre Lloyd's livery with the little dragon or Phoenix or whatever it is. And this one with the dragon as well is completely beautiful. If I didn't have the compression rate so high, it would definitely look absolutely stunning. And I love just the whole entire little theme that they have going on. I think Josh's car would have the same, but I don't see that currently. Mattas's livery is temporary, so he is not going to be going off with it as the camera just starts to spin around. Alrighty, it is the formation lap. My dad drives so slow. Well, you should take over from him. You should take the wheel of the car. You know how to drive quick, but you also know how to go into the back of people. Number 188 in the pits for whatever reason that is. Unlucky for them, they're going to be in the pits for this race. Well, at least they'll be starting from the pits in this race. Failed to ready up, I think. Well, I would say unlucky, but when you have 5 minutes to ready up, not much of an excuse. And what was the fastest time? It was a 1:45.0, but it was on a green track. So, if that's what you're wondering. And as we see, there's no actual rain, but it is a green track again, and hopefully there's going to be rain in the next couple of minutes. You see, it is mostly sunny, but there is a lot of wind heading every single direction. As I am gonna just take a sip of water. No, he got a drive-through and had yet to stop in the pits. Lol, he's racing here. Oh, yes, there we go. That is the lap form championship guy. Shadrin, as his real name is. Don't know why the game put him as lap form championship. I guess he is just doing that from now. But we will be going live for this race. Let's just spectate Peter Kremers, because a lot of the times he's involved in some shenanigans, not entirely his fault, as the red lights just in front of us glare into the stream and they go green for the first time in this season. Peter Kremers getting an okay start, but down the inside he might be challenged by his teammate. But that is not the case. Peter Kremers touching with another driver, and there's a lot of contact. Adia Sathir in the background. He is off as well. Peter Kremers colliding with Vasily Blinov, and Matas Sidikersk is now down the inside of Subham Chowdhury. Subham Chowdhury not having the greatest of starts, but Matas absolutely destroying some of these drivers in the Porsche. Just going straight in front of them, and he's now into P6. Peter Kremers, he's getting also surrounded by a lot of drivers as Mr. Andre Lloyd gets pit maneuvered by another person over there. That was by Subham Chowdhury, unfortunately, and Vladimir Krov also somewhere in there. Peter Kremers in 8th. Not a good start from him. Oh no, yeah, 8th, and Subham Chowdhury in 9th. Both involved in some sort of collision. Nick Stick in 5th. Patrick Slowick moving up into 4th. Shadrin also into 2nd. Vasily Blinov was involved in some sort of collision with Peter Kremers as they were just going into the first corner. Raul Santana Rios moving up a couple of positions, so it's Vladimir Krov. Josh Buckwater caught up in some sort of action. He is last, and that gave Alexei Kolobkov 14th from the pit lane. Adia Sathya was pit maneuvered, and Felix Paland was in some sort of action as well. Andre Lloyd, he was also pit maneuvered, I think, as well, as he is in the McLaren. That was a very interesting start to the race, and there's only more to come as Matas is in 6th. The place that he did not think he was going to be, and he's pressuring the McLaren of Nick Stick for 5th place. He's going to be trying to go down the inside, and he does. He absolutely sends it into the corner, and he has it. He is right in front of the McLaren as the McLaren tries to get back at him, but it's not enough. And he gains another position as Patrick Slowey goes off. He's 4th. Matas Sidekirskas moving up so many positions as he is trying to avoid so much carnage that's going up behind him. Wow. Matas is shining in this race so far. Now, can he get P3 as in front of him Vasily Blinov goes off in the chicane? That gives Matas more time and space to get in front of him. Can't believe Super GT having surgery for appendicitis. That is a comment that I did not think I was going to hear. Peter Kremers involved in some sort of action as well. He has that little sign next to him that promotes him into P7, Subham Chowdhury into P9, Josh Buckwater into the pits, and Matas, he's going to be pressured by Zaur Nanyev for P4 as he just starts to catch up to the back of Vasily Blinov. I think he might be one of the only drivers who doesn't have doesn't have any damage on his car, but Matas doing ever so well with his lights on to move himself from P10 to P4 in the Porsche. It is an absolute crazy start to the race, but that is exactly what we wanted from this championship. As Zaur Nanyev, he is coming up right behind Matas Sidekirskas as he just starts to lose a bit of ground on Vasily Blinov. Reality might be catching up to the back of him. And that Aston Martin pulling him and shoveling him possibly along. He had to brake a bit as the Porsche going a bit slower than the Aston Martin on the straight. Behind Zaur Nanyev, there's also the McLaren who wants to get in front of him, as this is becoming a three-way battle for P4. And Shadrin also hoping to get P1 from Zach Doran. Raul Santana Rios tumbling down the order. He's got a yellow flag. And that is Matas Sidekirskas just falling back from P3, and he has the hungry Aston Martin V8 Vantage behind him of Zaur Nanyev. Still pushing along, still trying to get that position away from him. As Shadrin sets another fastest lap of the race at 1:46.2, and with Matas having that very unlucky exit from the final corner, that gives the Aston Martin of Zaur Nanyev all the time in the world that he needs to get ahead of them. As we see in the background, Peter Kremers just creeping up to the back of Nick Stick, as Matas is not too happy with how the AMR overtook him and wishes to come back right at him as he just gets so close to the back of him. As Zach Doran up the background, Peter Kremers, he's in the wall yet again. It is an absolute unlucky race for the Dutch driver. So far, every single race he's had some sort of carnage happen to him, and this time He has put himself into the wall. And now running in P14, that might become P15 in a couple of laps time. Now Matas having to defend from another Hungary racer behind him, this time in the McLaren 720S of Nick Stick. Contact or error, it seemed like it was an error since he was only trying to get behind Nick Stick. So nobody behind them that could have possibly pit maneuvered Peter Kremers. Nick Stick though, 3/10, 4/10 the gap. It is decreasing as the lap goes on, and if he can get a better exit out of this corner, he might be able to get him on the straight. That is undoubtedly what he might be striving to do. It looked really weird. I've never seen anybody go off like that. Well, now you have, as Nick Stick goes for a little bit of a look down the inside of Matas, but not enough there. As now Nick Stick has to hang behind the more aerodynamically powerful Porsche, but the Porsche really going behind, really I don't know, slidey, I guess is what I'd want to say. Very slidey out of some corners if you can't handle it. But Matas currently proving that he is able to handle that Porsche really well as he goes a bit deep, giving Nick Stick just a bit of hope to overtake Matas. There's a lot of people going off that track actually right now. Going off that part of the track right now. The track is still green, I think, and it is only getting colder. As Nick Stick yet again catching up to the back of Matas. Matas making a bit of a mistake, but it's not enough for Nick Stick to overtake him. Shadrin also catching up to the back of Zach Doran, who they did switch positions a couple of times in this race already. As Nick Stick goes off the track as well. A lot of people might be getting some penalties for off tracks as Matas, he gets a bit sideways coming through that corner. Nick Stick, he's trying to get a better run of this corner, but he's also going sideways a bit as well. That might give Patrick Slowick some more time to catch up to the back of them, as Shadrin, he is right there. And they make contact as well. It seems like the two leaders making contact. As yes, we actually do see them a bit in front. There is Peter Kremers and Josh Buckwater as well in the background, in the foreground. Already gonna get lapped, it looks like. As we still watch this battle unfold in front of us, as the top three start to get a bit closer to each other, as Vasily Blinov is only a second off the back of Shadrin, who is also 4/10 of Zach Doran. Matas, he's going to be have to lap Peter Kremers as he just goes a bit wide and just a bit sideways. That gives Nick Stick all of the potential to overtake him into the next couple of corners. And he does have the inside line for the next corner, and he does get the overtake done. But Matas, he's going to be coming back right at him. And that is not enough to keep him behind, and Matas now into P6. So Matas currently 4 places up than his original, but Patrick Slowick also wanting to get P6 from Matas as well, as Matas, he's going to be not too happy that he got passed by the 720S, and he's again going sideways, not finding any rhythm with the car. As Abe says, could have defended that so easily, Matas, lol. Interesting little take from the driver that is not even racing today. So maybe he could have been, it would have been behind Matas, and then we would have had a different story to talk about. Matas still trying to get to the back of Nick Stick, as Patrick Slowick just slows down a bit. Did you like my dive bomb, by the way, Abe? I don't think he's seen it. Or did he? He might have seen it as Subham Chowdhury goes slowly, letting Adi Sathya pass. No idea what happened there. Possibly a bit of a mistake. Matas now not able to catch to the back of Nick Stick to get that position back. Patrick Slowick also not able to catch to the back of Matas, as they are pretty much on a similar pace. Everybody going about 46. Only Matas going 48 that last lap, but that was a mistake from him. As he just goes a bit wide, and again, not in control of the car misbehaving right behind his legs. And again, that gives Patrick Slowick all that hope that he can close that gap in before Matas gets away too quick. And yes, that was a 46.5 from Matas last time out. 46.8 from Patrick Slowick. Adi Sathya doing 45.6. So he is the man to look out for. He started P9, now into P8, and might be making a lot of moves this race, as Patrick Slowick going a bit deep. The battle for P1 also rages on, as Shadran, he's right behind Zach Doran, and he's just trying to go around the outside. Vasily Blinov also looking down the inside over there. It is a three-way battle for P1, which is much better than it was last season. He goes down the inside, he pushes him. It is contact between the top two drivers, and P1 is taken out by P2, who now is still in P2, and P3 now promoted into P1. Vasily Blinov takes P1 from this trio, and it was, I think, inevitable that these guys would have contact. It was indeed a pretty bad move, not a place to overtake. It was an interesting bit of defending, but sadly, Shadran going straight into the back of Zach Doran, who's now into P3, but I think Zach Doran will be reclaiming that place back anytime soon. Patrick Slowick still on the back of Matas Sidikirskis, as he is going to have to defend from Adi Sathya from behind as well. As they have Subham Chowdhury just 2 seconds behind them. And Patrick Slowick in the slipstream. He's gaining on Matas, and Matas moving over to the right side. That's not enough, because Patrick might still make a move here. And he's still on the inside of Matas, but Matas is going to have the inside line for the next couple of corners. So Patrick having to back out of that one, but that's giving Adi Sathya all of that time and pace to get straight onto the back of the McLaren 720S. The only thing you can do on this track is sit behind and try into S1. Well, not entirely true. You can also wait for a mistake. As Patrick Slowick now having to defend from Adi Sathya. Now, will we see a replay of what happened with Shadran if Adi Sathya tries to send it? No, he doesn't, but he's all over those curbs. He's gained on Patrick Slowick, and he just nearly goes into the back of him, as the 999 ping is completely destroying his race, to be fair. Patrick Slowick getting rear-ended for what it looked like. Adi Sathya rubber banding all over the place. As Zach Doran now goes into 14th. I think he actually teleported to the pits. That promotes all of these drivers in another place, except Peter Kremers, who's currently possibly a lap down. Can I still join? Well, I mean, if you do want to, then you can join. But I would not advise so. But yeah, you can still get points. As we just had our first rage quitter of the season. It was Zach Doran who has decided to leave the championship. Oh, and Patrick Slowick! He has completely binned it. And he comes right in front of the number 118. So that was Zach Doran rage quitting from this race and from the championship overall, as he decides to just completely abandon after getting just spun, and he was into P3, so not sure why he needs to be so salty about it. Right, Patrick Slowick, he did have some rear damage. I just want to have a look at what happened to him and what was the reason that he spun. So we see him just going through this downhill section. It's really easy to actually spin him here, and yeah, he's sadly having a lot of that curb and not hitting the wall here, so that was enough for him to not hit the wall. But he did get placed into P9. Yeah, too much curb on the inside for such a damaged car, I think, so not able to hang on. Adi Asathya now, though, he's going to be pressuring Matas for P5. As the current events stand, we had our Zach Doran leader rage quit from the race after he got lightly tapped from behind. But he got punted a few laps before, yeah, but he still kept P1 for a couple of laps, and he was still P3, so still on the podium, nevertheless. So not sure why he has to be so salty. Right, Shadran now, he's going to be behind Vasily Blinov, as we see Adi Asathya just trying to make a move on Matas. He completely sends it down the inside. Matas has the inside line, and he might be coming back at him, and Matas, he has made contact with Adi Asathya now, possibly into the wall. He goes, nope, there he goes. He's still out there, so Matas able to carry on, but he is now behind Sabam Chowdhury. Sabam Chowdhury, he's going to be challenging Adi Asathya for P5, and he does so very successfully. He goes down the inside, and that is enough to make him P5 on this grid right now. Adi Asathya, he's not wanting that position to go away so quick, but Sabam Chowdhury, wow, so quick to react to that sudden change in positions, and now he has capitalized off that pretty well, getting him into the top 5. Adi Asathya, though, he's on a bit of a revenge. On a revenge. Yeah, on a revenge ship. He wants to get that position back from Sabam Chowdhury. Not sure who wouldn't. On a revenge tour. Thank you so much. That is what I wanted to say, you know. But I don't think Sabam Chowdhury is going to be letting that one go too quick. As Adi Asathya tries to go down the inside again, but that is not enough. Not enough for him at all. just go to open the window. Hopefully there's nothing going on here. Subham Chowdhury still hanging on to P5. 5/10 is the gap. Matas 3.4 seconds behind this little pack. He's got Alexei Kolobkov, who's going to be catching up to the back of him. Adi Asathya still very close to the back of Subham Chowdhury. Nick Stick also very close to Zaur Nanyev. So Haley Mason and Staplefeld not here, as if we planned it. Yeah, absolutely. The quick Season 4 drivers not joining for the first race, wanting to give everybody a bit of a taste of victory before they run away with it. As Adi Asathya still not able to catch to the back of Subham Chowdhury, and I think this might actually be their race for now. Their race over for now, since I think both drivers are starting to hit a bit of a wall in terms of pace. Yeah, both drivers lapping in the 1:46.4s. Adi Asathya sometimes going a bit quicker, but Subham Chowdhury not too far off. As Vladimir Krov is now giving up the position to Felix Palin, and that is also very close to Andre Lloyd. We're giving everyone else a chance for the win. I think it'll be very close for the next couple of races. Yeah, it absolutely will be. With the close gaps between the drivers, I will definitely be hoping for a close race, as well as we have Vladimir Krov and Andre Lloyd fighting for P11. They have already exchanged their positions once. It is the two very quick cars out on track, as Vladimir not able to control the car and going a bit sideways through that corner. Into the chicane he goes, and he goes very, very deep, cutting it actually. Will that give him a penalty? I'd hope not, as the track starts to go fast instead of green, and the clouds start to set in. 7 kilometers off wind, and the track is getting colder by the minute. Will we see a smidge of rain? As there is 30 minutes to go. No rain expected yet, as always, but it is definitely getting a bit, slower out on track, as the next stick is very close to Zaur Nanyev, and behind them Peter Kremers, who's trying to unlap himself from all of this chaos. Nick Stick trying to go around the outside of the Aston Martin. Not going to be enough traction there in order to do that. Is he going to be trying to go around the outside into one of the hardest corners on Hungaroring? No, he doesn't. He might be going around the outside into this corner though. Will he? No, but he might try the old switcheroo. That did not work, since the Aston Martin was predicting that. Now the McLaren still having to do a bit of work to overtake the Aston Martin for the final podium positions. Behind them, Peter Kremers, he is getting blue flags for yeah, for Subtle Chattery, who's the fastest man behind him, he's not going to be given that position up too quick. Peter Creamers is a bit quicker. And if he wasn't lapped, he would definitely be in this battle for P4. A very nice 5-way battle for P4 as Peter Creamers, he's getting super close to the back of Nick Stick. Might he try and wedge himself in the middle of these two drivers? And I think he might actually try to do so, but no, Nick Stick, he has the straight line potential from that slipstream, and he tries to go down the inside. That did not happen. Subtle Chattery now, he is going to be let go by his friend as Peter Creamers goes off the track. As Adiasati goes so close, and Nick Stick punts the back of Zaurnanyev and gives him P3, but Zaurnanyev definitely not expecting that sort of overtake done on him. Another punt to pass in this race already. Zaurnanyev demoted down into P6, but that gives Subtle Chattery P4. And that P4 might get converted into P3, as he is only half a second off the McLaren 720S driver. Can Subtle Chattery, in his debut for BMW, get a podium position, possibly on this track? And for the first time ever, actually. But that might be spoiled by Adiasati, who's really right behind him, and he's trying to get that position of him. As actually Subtle Chattery goes into the pits. And that was enough of a stint for him, absolutely promoting himself from P10 to P4 by the end of this stint. He has also Nick Stick right in front of him. Now we might want to focus on these pits, because whoever comes out first is going to be ahead of the other driver, as Will Buxton would probably say. And Subtle Chattery getting the advantage of a I don't know, more far away pit. As we just see both drivers take probably what is the longest amount of time of the race. That's gaining him a place with a good outlap. Yeah, absolutely. If he and Nick can be so close on the outlap, it will be absolutely amazing to see these two battle on cold tires. Nick is now off. He's now ready to go off into the out of the pit. Subtle Chattery still standing still. And now only he gets going, so he has lost a bit of time. When I say a bit of time, he has lost about 6 seconds to Nick Stick, as the two race leaders, or sorry, the top two come into the pits now as well. He's shown more pace than them. Yeah, absolutely. I think Subtle Chattery in open air and with fresh tires can definitely have a great outlap. As Matas, he is battling Zaurnanyev now as he goes into the pits. Matas completely ruining the fun for me. As now Adiasati takes P1. He has not pitted yet. A lot of people doing so right now. Felix Paland, he is battling away with Andre Lloyd and Vladimir Croft. Vladimir Croft into the pits. Shadrin now coming out of the pits. Patrick Slowick fourth. He hasn't pitted yet. A lot of people not pitting yet as well. Shadrin, actually, he has overtaken for some reason his buddy Vasily Blinov, who is pitting for a long time. His standstill is nearly now a minute long, so he's probably pitting for damage. That might put Shadrin into P1 for this race. In a net P1. As Nick Stick just goes in front of a couple more drivers. And yes, he does, as they just come out the pits. Did Alexei Kolobkov actually overtake Sabum Chowdhury into the pits? Hold on, hold on. What happened here? Alexei Kolobkov having 2 pits and yet ahead of Sabum Chowdhury. Sabum Chowdhury is not going to have any of that at all. And he's got Matas behind him for good measure at that. And no! He's in the wall. Sabum Chowdhury in the wall. Unfortunately grabbing a lot of damage for the Indian driver behind the wheel of the BMW. Now, is there going to be rain? No, there is not. It is only getting sunnier. Of course, that is just the luck of the season. Sabum Chowdhury, though, in the wall. That is absolutely not the thing that we wanted to see. Why is our net race leader going into the pits? Might we just see if there's any penalty? Yes, there is. There is a penalty for Vladimir Krov. It is a stop and go, 30 seconds. And a lot of drivers actually not changing their tires. So, sadly, they will be missing out on their positions. There's now Adia Sathya. He is in P1. No stop yet. Vasily Blinov takes the net P1 lead ahead of his rival. Nick Stick now in P3. Net P2. And Alexei Kolobkov now in net P3. Sabum Chowdhury climbing up that ladder into P8. Which is going to be a net P5, nevertheless. So that is unfortunate that he had that interesting spin into the wall. But he is still ultra close. And he still might be catching up to the back of Matas, as he is setting some good lap times at that. As the top 3 are still to pit. That promotes Peter into P11, who's now only 4 seconds behind Felix Palin. Obviously, Peter with the early pit stop. And now Felix Palin bringing out the yellow flags. He was off track. No clue what happened to him there. But that gave Peter the place. He's now into P10. So only 1 place lost since his unfortunate spin into the wall. Just under 25 minutes to go now. And there probably won't be too much of a change in this race, but we have seen such close battles between drivers, such good pace from these 15 drivers. It was originally 16, but we did have somebody leave just towards the start of the race, even though they were running in P3. Matas in the pits, exactly he is. That is very weird to see. Not sure why people are having 2 pit stops. Might have I set something different in the mandatory pit stops? No, I didn't. A lot of people just sitting, just doing 2 pit stops right now. And did Matas get a drive-through? No, he didn't. That will promote Sabum Chowdhury into P7. Sadly, I'm not actually able to see these penalties, so whatever happens. Sabum now into P7, has some damage, so might be losing a couple of seconds at that. He's still doing 45.7s, even with his front damage, so well done to him. Raul Santana, Rios and Josh Buckwater coming together. Patrick Slowick in the pits as well. And now the fastest lap time of a 1:45.2 set by Vasily Blinov. who is set to take the race win here at the Hungaroring with 23 minutes left. Anything can really happen, but he does seem to be the strongest contender to do so. Peter Creamer still trying to find his way around Adia Sathya, who's currently leading the race. So that might give you a bit of an indication at how quick Peter is lapping and how slow Adia might be lapping on his older tyres. Both actually on very old tyres, so I'm not sure what the excuse here is. Patrick Slowick still in the pits, promoting Subham Chowdhury into P6. And there's only 2 more people to pit, which will promote Subham Chowdhury into P4 indefinitely. So if he can catch up to the back of the 188, he might even get P3. So not all hope is lost, as Adia Sathya still refuses to go into the pit. And Peter Kremer's just trying to find some sort of way around him, possibly thinking that it's slowing him down, and it actually is. He was 10.1 seconds behind Matas, he's now 10.5, so lost around 4/10 to P9, stuck behind Adia Sathya. And Peter Kremers might have some upset words to say, because Adia Sathya not letting him by. He doesn't have to, but he feels like if he even tries to make an overtake, he might screw up another person's race. So he might think that it is not the way to do so, as Shadrin sets the fastest lap time of the race, 1:45.1. He is just behind Subham Chowdhury, 6.9 seconds, so hopefully Chowdhury is going to be able to keep him behind, as Adia Sathya still doesn't go into the pits. A very, very bold decision by the BMW driver. And Zaur Nanyev's finally coming into the pits for a very good stint, a very good first stint by him, so well done to him. And finally, is Peter Kremer's going to be able to have some clean air? But no, Adia Sathya does not want that. He's going to be coming right down the inside on him. And Peter might be fed up by this, because he is losing time to Felix Paland right behind him. Felix Paland obviously on fresher tyres, lapping a bit quicker than Peter in the BMW. And there he is now. Felix Paland catching right to the back of the Dutch driver. Zaur Nanyev still dropping down the order as he is still standing in the pits. That promotes Subham Chowdhury into P5. Shadrin sets another quickest lap time of the race, so 1:45.1 respectfully. Now there is somebody in the middle of him and Subham Chowdhury that might give Subham some more room to breathe. As finally Adia Sathya goes into the pits, and that gives Peter Kremers all the time in the world to go like a rocket ship right ahead of Felix Paland and hopefully catch up to the back of Matas, as now Shadrin is starting to take the time off Zaur Nanyev, and he's actually catching super quick to the back of the Aston Martin. There he is. Just under 20 minutes to go now for a lot of people, that might be a certain checkpoint that they have still in the race. And they're still doing very well. Vasily Blinov sets the fastest lap time of a 1:44.8. Wow. A 1:44.8 is a crazy lap time for race pace. Still fast lap time, still fast track. 8 kilometers of wind and still no chance of rain. But here we have Shadrin behind Zaur Nanyev, just trying to get some sort of position. He had to, for some reason, pit for a couple of times. 2 times the Beamer had to pit, but that is not enough to keep him behind the Aston Martin. He overtakes him straight on the final finish straight, and that propels him into P6. He was originally running P2, was challenging for P1. Now Adia Sathya 1.3 seconds off the back of Nick Stick. Sabam Chowdhury also still in P5, so nothing has changed for him. Nice recovery by Peter. Has he still to pit? No, he doesn't. Since he pitted right at the start of the race. So he is running in the net position in P10. So very good from him. Yep, absolutely. Good recovery in order to get him back into the top 10. He was gaining on the back of Matas for a couple of laps, but that is now spoiled since he was shredding his tires behind Adia Sathya. Still lost 5 positions, right? I think so, indeed, yeah. He has lost 6 positions. Sabam Chowdhury currently the only person to not lose or gain any positions. A person with the most amount of positions, most positions gained is Adia Sathya, who has gained 6. Now, it looks like me last season. Well, no. Actually, it looks like him the whole entire season. Shadrin. He is in the wall for what looked like an absolute disconnect. That did not look like a driver error to me. Shadrin straight into the wall. And I actually want to check his stream for what happened. That is exactly positioned for Peter. Well, I'm just going to check his stream right now.
Ну там, извини, там уровень пилотов, ебать.
Huh, something happened apparently about him and another person. We'll just go a minute behind. Nothing really happened there at all, so I'm not sure what happened. Zaur Nanyev was nowhere close to him. Well, that is unfortunate for him. No clue what happened. Very interesting indeed. And he has left the race as well, so that is it for him. No clue what happened there. Looks more like a wheel disconnect. Yeah, it did really look like a wheel disconnect. I'm not sure what was going on, but hey ho. Adia Sathya is still in P8, challenging for his P2. That is P2 he's challenging for. And he's getting ever so close to the back of Nick Stick. 14 drivers now on the grid. Still very close racing between them. Now, this is exactly what we wanted. Even though it is not such a great number, 14, but still, it is amazing that there are such close battles, which means that finally hitting that point at people are very close in terms of gaps. As Adi Asathia getting ever so close through the final corner. Does he get a good traction out of it? He possibly does. As he's just going to be... yeah, as he's just going to be not going... Oh! Oh no, that's my complete game. That's my game. That's not the stream, don't worry about it. That is me being absolutely stupid. For some reason, part of it just goes completely off. You completely don't have to worry about that. Yeah, as we can see, all the drivers are still in complete good health and care, so you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, there we go. So, nobody has really switched any positions. We still have Subham Chowdhury in 5th. That's all we want to see. Adi Asathia ever so close. Now, we were just gonna be looking at that. There we go, look at it. Right. 10 minutes to go. 3/10 the gap between the two outstanding drivers. Obviously, the only real outstanding driver is Vasily Blinov out here, but a lot of people showing their absolute amazing pace. Like Subham Chowdhury able to actually get very close to the back of Alexei Kolobkov, challenging for P4. And now if these drivers, obviously knock on wood, don't collide, then hopefully then some Chowdhury might get onto the podium. I don't know, that's just a very hypothetical thing. I don't know why I'm waffling so much. Right, let's have a look. Nick Stick still in front. And yet still 3/10 the gap, not really closing up at all. What is the track? It is starting to get a bit more cloudier, but then it's not enough for rain. And it has actually started to pick up in terms of wind, so anybody that is going through a couple of corners might feel some tailwind. Adi Asathia still trying to find some extra pace in order to get in front of Nick Stick. Both lapping very close to each other. But Nick Stick getting a bit of a worse exit out of that corner, possibly even getting himself a warning for that. As we see in the background, the two BMWs battling away as well. Subham Chowdhury just coming towards the back of the number 188. Both also lapping very close to each other. Both doing 146.4s. Here we have Nick Stick doing 145.9s and Adi Asathia 146.1. But that's beyond the point because both drivers are able to make mistakes and both are prone to doing so. As Adi Asathi, does he make a send into the chicane? That was very bold by him, but at least we didn't see another redo of that exact incident with Shadrin and the person who rage quitted. But Adi Asathi is so close behind the back of the McLaren. Still trying his absolute best to overtake such driver. And it is not easy when both of them are locked behind some sort of wall in terms of pace. Both pushing their cars to the absolute limit. Last 8 minutes to go. Subham Chowdhury closing the gap to the back of the number 188. Adi Asathi getting a bit of a worse exit out of this corner. But he does have the benefit of the slipstream, which actually doesn't do much if you're against a McLaren. For some reason, the McLaren absolutely a rocket ship in the straight. Yet still Adi Asathi 0.8 seconds, 0.5 seconds, 0.4 seconds off, 0.3 seconds off the back of the McLaren, and this is the closest he's been in a while. Might he try to do an old switcheroo? No, he doesn't, but he's so ever so close. And he tries to go round the outside. Not enough space there in order to do such a move. Now Adi Asathi just trying to shovel Nick Stick through these couple of corners, trying to make him go even quicker. As there's really not much he can do in terms of increasing the pace. Both doing 146.6 now, so really close in terms of pace. About to the last 100th as he tries to do an old switcheroo again. What was it like? Wait, what was it like? What was it like? You have to be at least 1 second faster per lap in order to overtake here, right? I'd say no, but Adi Asathi now, sadly, making a mistake and putting him out of contention to get P2. But now in the background we have Subham Chowdhury still trying to get his most deserved P4. Alexei Kolobkov also deserving this P4 as well. Actually, all drivers finding themselves at their current positions. Oh no, sorry, that is because my thing is, yeah, it is unstable. No, yeah, well, I think you have to be just over a half a second, I think. Not a second. I think a second would be too much. And you'd overtake them, like, straight away. I'd say, like, half a second or, like, fourth of a second in order to overtake on this track. You can't overtake it. Well, I've seen a couple of overtakes being done here, or at least some good attempts at it as well, so I think it is definitely possible to overtake after turn 1. It's just a matter of finding somebody who's a bit slower than you, and it seems like most of these people are finding others that are the same pace as them. Alexei Kolobkov and Subham Chowdhury both doing 145.9s, and Nick Stick and Adi Asathi are both doing 146.4s. So really, there's nothing either of these drivers can do, but Subham Chowdhury trying to do some sort of overtake. As we see, in 30 minutes time it'll be rain, but our race ends in 3 minutes. So there was definitely a chance for it. But it's not happening now as Subham Chowdhury. He's getting ever so close. These might be the couple of laps that he might shine. He is much much faster than some drivers in worse conditions. So we'll see if he's able to get some sort of overtake on number 188. Yeah, it is just the luck of this league not having any rain. You know, there's leagues that have way too much rain, and there's leagues that have no rain at all, and that is us. We had only about 3 races out of the many, nearly into the 20s, or maybe into the 50s in terms of races, and only like 3 or 4 have had rain consistently. So that is just the luck. But next race there will hopefully be a lot of rain, as Sabam Chowdhury is still pressuring on the back of Alexei Kolobkov and Adia Sathya, doing the same to Nick Stick, both driving super well and both doing the same lap times. Only this time Adia Sathya is 0.6 quicker than Nick Stick, so we'll see if my hypothesis is correct. As they come to their penultimate lap. The 2 BMWs, same machinery, fighting for P4. Sabam Chowdhury, amazing job in P5. He didn't lose a place, he didn't gain a place as he goes down the inside into turn 1, and he actually scared his opponents so much that they went so wide that they have a worse exit out of this corner. Might he try to do the old switcheroo on him? No, he doesn't, as Alexei is able to keep that position, but that was ever so close between the 2 drivers, I might say so myself. Adia Sathya not able to catch to the back of Nick Stick in enough time. But now Sabam Chowdhury, he has lost a lot of time since he had that little bit of a move into turn 1. Now I do think that drivers should be a bit more conservative on their tyres. White T1 equals better exit. Well, not sure about that, because Sabam Chowdhury was very close indeed to Alexei Kolobkov after Alexei went so wide. I think wide is to an extent. To an extent, you have to be wide. But nevertheless, these drivers are now coming up to their final lap of the race. They are just got 2 more corners to maneuver before they start their final lap, and maybe Sabam will be able to do some sort of wizardry in order to get ahead of Alexei Kolobkov for P4. Peter Kremens has had an amazing race. Well, not an amazing race, an amazing recovery from last to now P9. T1 dive bomb incoming. No, it looks like Alexei is actually covering off that, and Sabam not close enough to do so, and he is now not going to be going so wide, and I think that might be his chances over unless he dive bombs into this corner, which I don't think he'd be so insane to do. No, he doesn't. Sabam Chowdhury has shared a lot of memories with Alexei Kolobkov, has had such a great race with so many great overtakes. We have definitely seen this man evolve into, well, something absolutely crazy dominant. And if he gets the right conditions, and if he doesn't get dive bombed or slidden into a different dimension, then he might actually get a great finish. Now, what do we see here? Oh no, that is Sabam Chowdhury with a drive-through penalty. So sadly, he's not going to be retaining that position, I don't think. But we do and have to celebrate our first winner of the race, Vasily Blinov in a number 77 BMW, and behind them Nick Stick, sticking just right in front of Adia Sathya, who was fighting so well and has gained so many positions. As Sabam Chowdhury having to go into the pits. I'm not sure if that's how you do it. but nevertheless, I think some Chowdhury might be losing out on a lot of positions if he does this now. Subham Chowdhury, what is up with him? Oh no, he finished the race in 5th. There we go. He finished the race in 5th. And that gives him a 30-second penalty. That is horrendous. Giving him a drive-through penalty on the last lap. And that is a 30-second penalty. So he'll be moving down a lot of positions at the end of this race. Santana Rios just coming up as well. Very unlucky to get a 30-second penalty on the last lap, but whatever the less. We got our 3 podium position finishers, that is Vasily Blinov, Nick Stick, and Adia Sathya. Adia Sathya just hanging behind Nick Stick. And Subham Chowdhury sadly getting a 30-second penalty. So that might spoil his top 5 finish. As yes, he does finish actually P8. So unlucky for him that happened. Right. Well, what else can I say? Except that was an absolutely exhilarating race. We have had more fun races, what I can say. But that was amazing in terms of overtakes, in terms of gaps to people, and even the weather did change a bit for what I see. Oh no, yeah. There you go. We got confirmation that Matas is 7th ahead of Chowdhury because of that penalty. I will say that Chowdhury did get robbed. Peter Kremers, though, he's finishing right behind him. That was 1 second a gap. And the rest, only 2 people have retired from this race, so well done to everybody who has finished. And absolutely a good race from the pros yet again to give such a show for this league. And thank you everybody for watching the stream. I hope you come back for next week, which is going to be a rainy Monza with the AMs also on it. So we'll see what happens there. How many people will retire is the bigger question, but it has been a lot of fun commentating for this race, and it has been a pleasure having you all here, and I hope to see you next week at the same time at around 4 o'clock for round 2 of the GT3